Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Ms. Mayfield, roll call, please.
President Oshinsky,
Present.
Vice President Gonzalez, Board Clerk Sheridan,
Present.
Trustee Aguilar,
Ooh, present.
Trustee Fiegerger,
Present.
Trustee Pearl,
Present.
Trustee Perla, Student Board Member Julian Diaz Felix. All board members and student board member present.
Ms. Mayfield. Report on closed session action. There is none to report. Please join me or not in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, Trustee Aguilar, the mission statement.
The mission of the San Leandro Unified School District is to educate students to achieve academic excellence in order to become confident, collaborative, and engaged citizens in a community rich in heritage and diverse in culture, where we value our traditions and embrace innovation.
Thank you, Trustee Aguilar. Trustee Sheridan, the equity statement, please.
The Board of Trustees believes that the diversity that exists among the district's community of students, staff, parents/guardians, and community members are integral to the district's vision, mission, and goals. Addressing the needs of the most marginalized learners requires recognition of the inherent value of diversity and acknowledgement that educational excellence requires a commitment to equity in the opportunities provided to the students and the resulting outcomes.
Thank you, Trustee. Next, approval of the agenda. I want to have the approval of the agenda, but I'm going to pull information item 1B simply as a matter of order.
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved by Trustee Sheridan, seconded by Trustee Gonzalez. Please vote. Motion moves 7+1. Legal statement. Members of the audience who wish to address the board are asked to complete the yellow card available at the entrance and submit it to the board's executive assistant. Speakers who have completed the card will be called when the item is reached on the agenda or for non-agenda items during the public testimony. Cards are to be turned in before the item is reached on the agenda. Please note the meeting is being recorded. State law prohibits the Board of Education from taking any action on or discussing items that are not on the posted agenda, except to A, briefly respond to statements made or questions posed by the public in attendance, B, ask questions for clarification, C, provide a reference to a staff member and or resource for factual information in response to the inquiry, or D, ask a staff member to report back on the matter at the next meeting and or put it on a future agenda. Government Code 54954.2A. We have one public testimony. Ms. Darlene. Three minutes. 3 minutes.
I live at 13495 Bancroft Avenue. That's across the street from the high school. And I've been to city council meetings before. I came dressed like this. Our neighborhood is in problems, big problems. How would you like to sit on the cement part where Palma Plaza is and have broken glass? And broken glass where you would turn left to go west or east. And then there's too much trash. Last night I picked up trash and put it in a grocery outlet thing. And then I wheeled it over to where the police car sits. And there was a thing like this of like gravy and stuff like that. There is too much trash in our neighborhood. I am not the only person to complain about it, but I am a person who spends hours cleaning it. Now, I went to a city council meeting and they says, hey, we're going to put a whole bunch of trees in. I says, well, yeah, we got sycamore trees on the state highway, but you don't come and pick it up. We have broken glass from rocks in the neighborhood. I called the police department. If you had a connection in the past where I went over to the, what do you call it? I'm so mad. um, went over to the main library, and it says that the school is working with the city. I came here and I see a great big long hose hooked up to the tree that is supposed to be Root Park, and that this property was donated by a family that says you're going to always maintain it for dahlias. Well, we had the dahlia thing the other day at the library. I am brokenhearted because this town is so dirty and nasty. My father fixed buses. I make it a chore to pick up after the buses. But when I see a private company at night saying, hey, I do this, but he's not coming on the other side of the street. You have a gymnasium that's being built, and it's going to be supposedly from teachers that said more than 3 weeks ago, another building built so that the high school will all be one thing. I'm at the point to say, you know what? I will take a sign and I will say 7-Eleven, you sell 60 wines and liquors, and you do it past the 600 feet of the high school, but you're ruining the neighborhood because there's so many people that are from the San Leandro Hospital that are homeless, that are helpless, that are alcohol, you name it. 7-Eleven doesn't want me inside. I went in there once and I says, what's wrong with this place? And I thought, here's the stickers for the guns and the other stuff, and how many liquors and stuff do they have? You have a big problem, and the fire department connection that took me 4.5 months to get caps on, you can't hardly even find it. And I came here, I'm ending it. I came here before, and the Barbara Lee Health Center, and for more than 1.5 years, you haven't even replaced the concrete that's supposed to be there. And I told the people next door that I wasn't doing it anymore for the school after 5 years. So I don't know who cleans up your place.
All right, next up, school reports. Featured schools, Garfield and Madison Elementary. Principal Koch?
Good evening. Welcome. My name is Anna Malky Coach. I am the principal of the phenomenal Garfield Elementary. And we have an outstanding year planned for every single Garfield Gator. I would be remiss if I did not start with every outstanding colleague that I get the pleasure to go to school with every single day, working incredibly hard to give all of our students an outstanding educational opportunity every time they walk onto our campus. This year, we are, with the district, partnering with a new phonics program, making sure that all of our students have an outstanding foundation for reading and writing. We are doing deep data dives to continually improve our practice as educators, continuously every single day, every time we're in the classroom, gathering our data and bringing it back to our collaboration spaces and growing. We have a bunch of new educational experiences coming to Garfield this year. We will be having a planetarium come where we will have astronomy lessons in an enclosed dome with a planetarium. We have engineering workshops, environmental science workshops coming, a multitude of cultural assemblies, science assemblies, and this year we kicked off with a anti-bullying and healthy mind and body BMX show to get every student in the school spirit and ready to just begin this school year on a grand note of positivity. We have new enrichment classes. We have hip hop, capoeira, coding, survival science, and 3D printing all coming through this semester. We have a brand new student leadership, and my lovely student you will be meeting in a few minutes is a big part of that. But we have a student leadership beginning where they are going to have their voice heard and really run a whole bunch of new student initiatives so that they can be the change they want to see at Garfield. We have a readathon going on right now. And I want to shout out that in less than 2 weeks, we have already reached about 6,000 minutes in our readathon. and they are doing an outstanding job every single day, logging their minutes, tracking them, being excited about reading and opening new books and exploring new worlds through those books. So, in short, Garfield Elementary has an amazing year, amazing year ahead of us. And I'm so excited to celebrate one of our students tonight and celebrate all of our students every single day we're at school.
Before we get to the students, can I pause for just a minute? I apologize for the interruption and see if we have any comments or questions from the board. Trustee Gonzalez.
Yeah, you said survival science.
Yes,
That caught my attention. I was like, I'd love to come and watch one of those classes.
you are more than welcome. I will email you the schedule.
That
yes.
sounds so cool.
Learn if you're lost in the woods one day, right? How do you
Yes.
survive? Yep.
Maybe they can be the leaders for if we have a disaster. Here in San Leandro. So thank you.
Trustee Perola.
There we go. Now I'm on. I was just going to say, I used to teach at Garfield, and it's really wonderful to hear the things you're doing. When I taught there, it wasn't nearly as exciting, and I wish I were back now. Anyway,
Welcome back.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Sounds like a lot of good things going on at Garfield. I appreciate your presentation. Please proceed.
All right. So I think this is the big drum roll. I would like to invite, I would like to invite up our Superintendent Award winner, Chloe Feo. Chloe, come on up. This phenomenal woman, she is, of course, part of our leadership team, our green team, our lunch leadership team. She is a phenomenal friend every single day to every kid on campus. If there's anyone in any strife, Chloe would be the first one there to offer a helping hand. Not only that, she volunteers her time outside of the school day. She came to Garfield for about 2.5 weeks over the summer and volunteered her time in every single classroom, helping teachers set up, helping the office set up. She helped out even at her back to school night. She assisted her teacher with her PowerPoint presentation and making sure it all ran smoothly technology-wise. She is just the embodiment of everything you want to see in a San Leandro Unified School District student, and I cannot say enough about her. So congratulations, Chloe. Oh, not yet, not yet, not yet. Yeah.
Come on.
Family, come. You should be over here too.
Against good job.
No, you should be over here too, Zara. We need
Yeah. Uncle, come.
Come on. We got a whole bunch of people in here for.
If you can't tell how much this woman is phenomenally loved.
Yeah.
Come on, Tab.
So proud of you. Yes, of course you keep it. Thank you, Ms. Bunny.
How are you? Nice of you to show up, honey. All of you, thank you so much.
All right, next up, we have Principal Smith. Principal Smith.
Good evening. Good evening, Board of Trustees. Good evening, Dr. McLaughlin, Cabinet, and all of our SLUSD family in the audience. I'm Principal Smith, and this is Vice Principal Hill. And we represent James Madison is in the house. This is my fifth year in San Leandro and at the helm of James Madison, and I couldn't be prouder of our school and where we are today. So I want to just tell you that we have grown in size, and we are now at about 650 students, which is amazing. The growth, the amount of community members who are interested in coming to James Madison is really unique and special, and we're so proud of that. At our school this year, we have not only grown our TK program from 1 to 2 and added 2 new buildings, which look terrific, and we're going to continue to build those classes out. But we have also added 2 DLI kindergarten classes in Mandarin, which is pretty unique in the Bay Area, I have to say, and new to San Leandro. And so we're so excited to be able to add the Mandarin language to our repertoire of multilingual education in San Leandro. So congratulations. Thank you for supporting that for our school. And we are set and ready to go. We've also added a vice principal, and she's amazing. And I needed that extra help, and it has been phenomenal to have that support and to also get to know Ms. Hill. At our school, we just installed our brand new school garden. And this, as you know, from the first year that I got there and we planted plants together, you and I, Peter, we now have a full-blown outdoor ed education ready to go with redwood planter boxes and irrigation and trees and a habitat for humanity. So we're so excited to kind of see this full-fledged garden experience for our students, and it's come a long way, and we didn't give up on it. And it's something that's near and dear to our hearts, and it's called Madison Meadows. So I invite you to come and see this new space. And I understand that many other schools in our district will also have the opportunity to work with Common Vision to have a beautiful garden installed at their schools as well. Our school is, we are doing a lot of the similar things. We're doing phonics and introducing that at the TK level, kindergarten, and all the way across. And we're seeing excellent growth in reading through our Mustang Academy, through our intervention practices. So we're going to continue on. We will have a Moon Festival coming up on September 22nd. So this is our new JMPTO, super jazzed, ready to go, who's going to be spearheading this event. Please come and join us for this Moon, the Lantern Festival Walk. And we'll also be doing our annual, this is our second annual Ruby Walks in November. And we'll be marching with our students in solidarity for social justice, for equality and equity in our schools. Principal Hill, Vice Principal Hill, do you want to add anything?
This week, we just started some new after-school classes that are free to students, so it's really exciting. There was a lot of desire for that in the community, so really big turnout for those. And also just wanted to shout out our makerspace. I've had a chance to see kids in there just being creative, tinkering. It ranges anywhere from coding to crafting, and they're really loving it. So wanted to add that.
And so, in that theme of coding, crafting, making, our theme this school year is STEM, STEAM, Make, Dream. And we really believe that students learning how to construct, deconstruct, co create is how we move our students ready and forward into their future lives for college and career. In saying that, I have the honor to introduce our student. So before we do that, if you have any questions for us, please do.
Trustees, comments? Trustee Perola?
Sorry, I wonder if you could send the board the information about the walk or whatever it is, the I forgot what you called it, but anyway, the
Ruby
moonwalk.
Bridges walks. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to get that, and probably everybody else would too. Thank you.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a shout out. To me, the Mandarin program, not just having one class, but having two classes is amazing. So thank you so much for being willing to take that on when we needed someone. So thank you for that. And then also being willing to take on that enormous growth, because your school went from one size to giant size.
Yes.
So-
Overnight.
So yeah, she went from one of the smaller, when I started,
Yes.
Madison was one of the smaller school sites. And
Yes.
now you are one of the largest. So,
Yes.
so congratulations on that and doing that with such grace.
Thank you.
So, and making it look really easy. So,
Thank you. And thank you for always coming out and participating in our events as well. Appreciate that. And all of you are welcome. So,
A couple of comments. I want to say thank you for your leadership. The fact that the
Mm.
population is growing over there is a testament to your leadership, and I really appreciate you for that. I cannot believe you've been there 5 years. And I
Thank you.
have to stop by and see the garden. I go by there
Yes.
all the time. I have no excuse. You'll definitely see me there soon.
Please, and bring a plant.
You're on.
Okay. Awesome. So, in light of our make a STEM, STEAM, make, dream, I have a student that I'd like to honor for the Superintendent Award. His name is Dominic Nutting. And the reason Hi. Okay. Yes. I don't even need to say anything because it just exudes brilliance. He he is a young man who is so comfortable in who he is and his identity and his skin, and so intuitive about the world around him. And I say that because, you know, Dominic is really involved in his education. I mean, right there, thinking about the things that he's learning about, asking questions, being curious. He also is a dreamer. Last year, he came to me and he said, I would like to do my own after school program. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I need a plan. And I said, yeah, I got you. Okay. And he came back and he had a whole plan written out. And he wanted to implement his first Dungeons and Dragons after school program. Right? And I was like, whoa, okay, you got a group of people who want, he's like, yeah, I already have everyone who wants to do this. I have an adult who's going to be watching me. His brother Donovan is in the house. And then he went around and he found a spot in the library, got permission from the librarian, and I got an opportunity to come see it at work. And here he is. He's acting out the entire scene of Dungeons and Dragons. He's encouraging his peers to learn about this very complex game. And but you know, so this is a guy who's making and he's creating and he's dreaming. And also, when we were doing our computer science last year, and we were learning about binary coding, and he got to partner with a younger student and really kind of take him under his wing and show him about what it means for binary code and really helping him to learn. He goes out of his way to help others. He's actively involved in his education. He knows who he is, and his family has grounded him. and all of that. And he's just the epitome of what a student who represents the Superintendent Award is. So congratulations, young man.
Let's go. A lot of work.
I know. This is the whole family. This is his beautiful extended group. Let's go. Okay, okay. Darn, you gotta stand. I'll shoot over with you.
You going, yes,
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Yes. Okay. One, two, three. Mustangs ride with? Ride!
D&D.
I know. Don't move. So, wait. We got to do a silly pose one. Just okay. I'm sorry. Just
Okay, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
anything.
I don't know. It's like, oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Ready.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Thanks for all the kind words.
Oh yes. So deserving. Oh.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to change the agenda just a little bit. Mr. Kerrigan, I'm going to put you second, and then we're going to do the San Leandro High School Academic Honors Students Recognition first.
Good evening, amazing Board of Trustees. Miss you all. Good to see you. Good evening, our amazing Student Board Representative, Julian Diaz-Felix. I was principal, started here when you were in second grade. It's my 10th year. so I got a lot of these young scholars there in elementary that are getting this recognition. It's so exciting to see them, and our amazing superintendent, Dr. McLaughlin, and our amazing cabinet. Happy Tuesday. I'm Dr. Ronald Richardson and Dr. Reginald Richardson today. And before I call up some beautiful scholars that we want to recognize, I just want to say that on behalf of San Leandro High staff and other Dr. Richardson as well, we love you and you're amazing. This is an amazing accomplishment. And I know you all know why you're here, but you're more than just scholars. You're amazing human beings on and off campus. So you're changing the world. So we want to take the time to honor you, but you're more than what this award is. You're phenomenal human beings who are going to change the world. So I just want to say love you all, and we're going to call your names up and celebrate you. So the award that we're celebrating, we have 5 scholars that we're going to be calling up to recognize around being acknowledged and recognized and honored by College Board. And they are the National Hispanic Recognition winners for College Board. Yeah, and that's huge. And I'm gonna call your name first. Arsbeth Orozco, come on up. Yes. Erica Silva. Is Erica Silva here today? Natalie Hernandez. Rosemaria Alvarez. Yeah. There you go. I know I saw you earlier. And Birdie Deanna. I see your full name. Garcia Escobedo.
Right now, we'll do the bond report.
Good evening, trustees and Dr. McLaughlin. Uh, Quite an act to follow. I got to say, that's my favorite part of this board meeting is to watch that. It's really something. Oops. So tonight I'll try to be brief, but I do want to get you up to speed since we've had a lot of time over the vacation and quite a bit's happened over the summer, and we were able to accomplish quite a bit. As you can see by this photo here, in this first photo, you can see this is the high school gymnasium, and then that's the main court area in the gymnasium where they'll be actually playing the basketball. And then this is a new, freshly updated timeline. A couple things dragged a little bit into the fall, unfortunately, but it was kind of unforeseen with regards to weather was the main factor on that one. But we're just wrapping up some of the projects. One of the one you'll see a lot of complete projects here, but I also said if you see there the solar project, we're going to be starting that within the next few weeks. And so the first ones on the list for that would be Hawkeen and Jefferson as well. So look to see that. We're coordinating now with the contractor to do this work during school time. And it will be a little bit of a struggle for the sites, but I think we've got some pretty good workarounds on that. So look for that here coming pretty quick. And now, from the previous gym picture, you can see the progress. That first gym picture I showed you was probably 4 weeks old. And now you can see that they're putting up the framing on the outside of the gym. and they're starting to put the shear panel and the sheathing on. So very rapidly, you're going to see an enclosed box that's going to really start coming together and look like something. So I urge everybody that has a chance to go over there and take a look at it. And as you can see, more of the gym photos with more of that exterior wall framing on the left-hand side there. And then onto the Lincoln campus. And we're working very, very hard. The contractor's working very, very hard. There again, as I referenced before, the rain really had an impact on this one, as well as PG&E was another factor. But it's coming together, and we just got one of the major holdups on completing this job was a multipurpose room. And we just found out, and that was DSA holding that up. Found out today, as a matter of fact, that they finally got an approved plan. And so they'll be moving forward with that and rapidly finish this one up. So hopefully, I don't have an exact date yet, but hopefully within the next few weeks, we'll be complete with the multipurpose room. And just some more awesome pictures of the campus that I want to make sure that you see this, some outdoor learning environment. Chess checker tables built in. So it's pretty cool. This is the new kitchen that will service the kids for food services. And more outdoor learning environment. So there's two on either side of the courtyard. Then on to McKinley, and you can see from this photo, it's kind of hard to make it out because it blends in so well, but now you have a new handicap accessible front door, which it did not exist. And the beauty of the design on this one, I think, is that it doesn't look like a ramp. It doesn't look like a big boxy, it certainly helped retain the architectural integrity of the front of the facade of the building. So. And then just more work on the drop off. You can see here that they're doing, finalizing their plantings in the back end. And that was kind of the idea, is to get that back end finished up. And then they're moving on into the front, where they'll be putting in new sod in the front. So it'll be an overnight thing. You'll come out there one day, it'll be dirt. And the next day it'll be sod. So coming soon. Wonder where that one came from. And as you can see here, this is the new field at Lincoln campus, as very nice, pristine. And at the very back of that field, you can see, it's hard to make out from this photograph, but along that fence line, there's fruit trees and avocado tree, so that it'll be a part of the program for the campus to have that culinary integrated into that, as well as planter boxes they'll have to be able to grow their own vegetables too. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Anyway. Any questions?
Trustees? Trustee Perola?
Sorry, I keep forgetting to turn on the mic. This isn't a question exactly, but I'm wondering if, when all of this is finished, if you could, I mean, you've had photographs all along and everything. Can we make like a book or something that we could pass on to posterity so they can see all the stuff that's been done?
Not a bad idea. I'm sure there's certain, certainly platforms for that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Trustee Sheridan?
So not a question, but more of a compliment. I mean, all of these sites that you're juggling, and of course I know our GM's doing their part and you've got your help in your office, but just the sheer amount of projects going on in this district. Yeah, I know other districts, some that have passed some bond measures, but they don't have anywhere near the projects going on simultaneously that we have going on. So I just want to commend you and your team on that. Great work. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll let everybody know.
In the bond office? Yeah. Yeah.
And they're very, very close. And it's a matter of arrangements. There's not really a whole lot left to do in those. So it should follow that same timeline as with the multipurpose room. And as soon as I get an end date or a roundabout close end date, happy to share it with all of you. It's coming. Thank you. you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the foreground of this picture is where we stood when we took pictures when they started the project, correct?
So actually, if on the left-hand side, you can see, I'm not sure exactly where we were at that time, but on the left-hand side, you can see the backside of the new building. So this is the backside. If you go all the way to the left, I believe, that's the tennis courts on the very, very left of that fence, right adjacent to the building. So this is the backside. This is that side borders Muir.
Just an observation, some of us did marathon committee meetings last week, and one of them was date at BLC and going through the McKinley drop-off.
Mhm.
One thing that I never anticipated, all the folks turning left.
On Bancroft?
Yes.
Yes, I've heard, yeah.
Is and then what added to it is there's a temporary fence there. The temporary fence was a little bit too far into the lane of traffic.
Mhm.
It's really hard for people to pull out and go in at the same time. It's just bugs that just need to be worked out.
Yeah, and as soon as, and that's going to be removed here fairly shortly. Obviously, there's going to be signage being put up there, right turn only. But I think it's just educating the traffic and
Yep. Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Kerrigan.
thank you very much.
All right, next up, we have California Community Schools Partnership Program.
Hi, good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent, Cabinet. My name is Joanne Clark. I'm the Senior Director for Ed Services, and I am also starting on my 10th year. Heard Dr. Richardson say that, so want to join in. I'm here to present to you just information about our recent grant award called the California Community Schools Partnership Program, which you'll hear us say CCSPP. Just a little bit of background, California Ed Code 8900 was passed in 2021, and this outlined the California legislature passed this to be the California Partnership Act. What's great about this is the actual legislator expanded this program and then added funds all the way through till 2031. And actually cohort 3 application will be coming out this spring. A little bit about the CCSP supports schools' efforts to partner with community agencies and local governments to align community resources to improve student outcomes. These partnerships provide an integrated focus on academics, health and social services, youth and community development, and community engagement. So what's really great about this program is already grounded in a lot of work we do here. Quick shot here, this is the funding. So for 2023 to 2027, we'll have a total of $2.2 million per year for those 4 years. What happens in the 27-28 school year goes down a little bit for more for just sustaining efforts. And then, so it's a 5-year grant. And the total award for San Leandro Unified School District under cohort 2, which is the grant that we just applied for and was awarded, is $10.45 billion. Just a little note, we were a part of the cohort 1 application cycle. Jefferson Elementary was awarded a school site with a consortium with ACUE. And so the grant recipient schools are listed here. We have 5 of the elementary schools, 2 of our middle schools, and 1 high school. So a total of 8 schools, and funding's a little different by enrollment, but pretty equal for all schools. Lincoln will be the one that has the little lesser funding. You had to have a minimum of 80% of free and reduced enrollment numbers to apply. And so we applied for these schools and were able to receive the grant. And then here's just a quick, I'm going to talk about the framework of the community schools. And there's 4 pillars that I'll go over, as well as key conditions for learning, the 3 cornerstone commitments, and then the proven practices of a community school framework. So the 4 pillars are, we must ground our work for the next 5 years with these schools on integrating student supports, making sure that we have family and community engagements, have collaborative leadership practices, as well as extending that learning time and opportunities. The 4 conditions for learning, which is grounded in research, is that we will be ensuring happens is the supportive environment conditions. We want to have productive instructional strategies provided, social emotional learning, as well as making sure we have systems of supports. 4 cornerstone commitments, and these are the commitments that we have, is being assets driven and strengths based. We believe in racially just and restorative school climates, powerfully cultural proficient and relevant instruction, and shared decision making and participatory practices. So all of this framework, and I'll have one more slide here, is work that we were already doing and was very kind of highlighted and shown in the grant application is very strong. And then the 4 proven practices is to have community asset mapping and gap analysis, which means every year we need to look what's working well, what's needs to be improved on. And then we have the other proven practices as school community coordinator, which you would say is our current principals, right? They would say, yep, that's my job. And it's really important to have a community school coordinator. Site-based and LEA-based advisory councils, as well as integrating and aligning with other relevant programs in the district, meaning we want to make sure we take this grant and the framework and make it part of the other work that we're currently doing in the district and not feel like it's something additionally added on it to everyone. It's a great enhancement of our current programs. So this slide just goes over, I did a summary here just so you could see the strategies. And so these strategies you're going to see is also part of our LCAP. You'll see a little bit in the strategic plan. And so these are the highlighted strategies I want to mention tonight. Just to sustain and strengthen our multi-tiered integrated intervention support system. We want to support more of the peer-to-peer education through youth development and engagement programs. You're going to see increased access quality to on-site mental health supports. You'll see improve early literacy through Lexile, which is our letters training for all K-3 teachers. And we're going to pilot supplemental phonics curriculum. We know that early literacy is key to supporting students' college and career readiness. We want to expand our family workshops to establish wellness support stations at schools. We really want that wellness kind of feeling at school sites. We want to also really look at expanding those partnerships and programs for extended learning and real world experiences. We have amazing partners in the district. They were able to actually write a lot of our letters of support for the grant application. So we want to continue to build with them these programs that will serve our students and families, after the school day, more into the weekends. We're really looking at more of these experiences you would see on the Saturdays and Sundays of our week. Looking at designating that school community coordinator, like we really need that leader to support the implementation and then really dive deep into data analysis. That's what's really key is we know if it's a 5-year grant, like it is key to my team to make sure that we're analyzing the data and then making sure it's improving outcomes for students. Because if it's not, we're quickly to adjust and find what's going to work. As we know, after the pandemic, things were really different every year, what we needed to bring to the school district. And then last, really sustain and deepen our culturally responsive teaching and learning practices with a universal design for learning framework. We are continuing building upon Director Celine Liu's strong professional development for district-wide PD days on a UDL framework. Grant funding, so the funding that is going to land here, and Kevin will be creating the resource budget code. For us, we'll really look at the following 4 areas to improve or to enhance. Staffing, we know it is important to have staffing and highly qualified staff that will commit and be with us for those 5 years. And so we're looking at hiring the community school coordinators. And also we looked at funding to hire more paraeducators of what would that look like to add more integrated support during the school day. Social emotional learning, we're looking at that TK to 12 assessment system to not only be a larger assessment system we're looking for is like that screener. We want to know how our students are feeling and doing, not only throughout the days, but really on the months and in the years. And so that would be part of this grant funding. Integrated support, this is where the early reading, spelling education, and intervention services during and after the school day. So that really TK to 3 or K to 3 early literacy programs we were just speaking about as a strategy. And then last is just that integrated mental health. The one thing we noticed last spring, we worked with all the principals on the grant application and from their SSCs and from their ELACs and DLACs was just like that, asking for more integrated contract services to come and provide that counseling and that on school site counseling. We heard a lot of that. It's students or families are picking up their kiddos after school and they would like to be on site to receive some of these services. And then implementation plan. So here we go. We're ready this year. Someone told me it's already the first month of school. I felt like maybe I didn't know that was true, but you're right. It's the first month of school has happened, and we are on board to, after this presentation, post and hire our school community coordinators. And what that looks like is we're looking at classified positions at the elementary levels and then certificated positions for the secondary schools. And we're looking for individuals that are committing to be with us for the 5 years. And then we're going to engage with our schools. So one of the big components of CCSPP is the belief is so powerful, which I really love about it. We are continually going to engage and get input from our staff, our teachers, our families, the community partners, and the students. It is not me. It is not Celine Liu. It's not Dr. Patel. It is the entire community has to give us input on what they need, because what they might have felt like they needed last year might not really be what they need this year. And so we're going to engage with the schools on what is the next supports they're going to need to make a community framework come alive. And then the very last thing is just you're going to have end-of-year reports that will be provided to you on how are things going. We're going to analyze, we're going to evaluate, we're going to adjust. If it's not working, we're going to be honest and fully get your input on this program, as it's very important to us. And thank you. Any questions for me? I speak kind of fast, I've been told, so I apologize.
Trustee Aguilar.
Yes, I'm really excited by this, and I teach at a community school, so we're also doing the grant at San Lorenzo High School. It's really exciting stuff, and it has the potential to be a game changer. And so, thank you for being a part of this process. It's community changing, and it's super exciting. But a couple of things I want to know. Is there any way you can give a little bit of a breakdown of how much of the grant money will go to the sites? Is it evenly distributed? Like, what does the breakdown look like?
Yeah, and we wrote that for that purpose. It's 300,000 per large school, 250 for the smaller, which is their Garfield, and 150 per year for Lincoln.
Cool. And that's the only question I had. Just also kudos, because this is awesome stuff.
Any other questions?
Yes, I'm really excited to hear about this particular program. I think it's going to enhance what we're currently doing in the schools, and I think that the families are ready for this type of engagement with them. I was curious a little bit about the wellness support stations at schools, just if you can share a little bit
Yeah.
about that. It sounds really interesting and intriguing.
Yeah, that's actually was a concept that we wrote in as a strategy that we wanted to kind of enhance and grow. We've had a few spots at different schools that have little areas of wellness spaces for their students. But we've heard from our site leaders and that there wasn't enough space for everyone. So we're thinking of wellness carts, something more that everybody can access and like a space in their classroom and not have to feel like they have to go somewhere to feel like they can get wellness, that it should come into the classroom.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I'm actually, as I was listening to the presentation, I kind of feel like I would like to have regular reports, but short, kind of like a bond report, because I think this is as big as a building project. And not every month, but maybe quarterly, you just come and give us a little update so we can ask questions and engage, because I think it's a building project, but much bigger than just a building.
I would love to, and I couldn't agree more. Right? It is a powerful program that's can make changes in the inside, while Aaron does the amazing work on the outside. There he is.
Anybody else?
Oh boy. It's in my bag. I brought it. I was told to bring it.
Anyway, let me get up and tell them what you're going to bring here. So Ms. Clark's been here 10 years. I've known her for 16. I brought her over from John Sweat because she's so fantastic and thinks outside the box. And number one, she's always about the kids. Okay. Well, I'm not the only one that thinks she's wonderful. She was given an award by Kaiser.
No,
Not Kaiser. What was it? Anthem?
Wellness Together and Blue Shield.
There you go. See, I need somebody to help. Wellness Together and Blue Shield gave her the Mental Health Innovator Award. Flew her down to Los Angeles, right? So there you Go,
and I
show it
did
off.
not.
You want to say something?
Yeah, no, it was amazing to be recognized by Blue Shield and Wellness Together, great partners. And 3 of us received the award at the large conference. It was exciting, but just really like what Dr. McLaughlin said, I don't think I've ever lied. No one ever, no, I'm real. It's all about the kids. It's all about the kids for me. And I'm always happy to be doing something for students. So thank you.
Oh. Come on down. Last one of the night.
Present. I didn't even look. I was so nervous.
All right.
I do. It was
All right. Come on down.
cabinet. No. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I want to hold it up and be a picture with that one after the meeting. Get in here, Z. We're all my team. Yeah. Thanks. I know.
Joanne Clark. Yay.
Congrats.
And next, last but not least, Dr. Collins.
The highlight of the evening, the award-winning. No. Here we go. All right, unaudited actuals for 22-23. I promise to be brief. What we're looking at tonight, review of all of our revenues and expenditures from last year, as bonuses, COVID funding update, enrollment and attendance, where we are right now, 23-24 state budget update. Look at a few additional budget items that you'll be hopefully interested in, and then talk about the next steps after unaudited actuals. Here's our budget cycle, annual budget cycle, 24 months long. There's where we are, getting really close to the end. You can see almost second step from the last. Just a quick lesson here on the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, GASB. Has some new rules that have come up over the last few years that have an impact on our budget. I'm just bringing these up to talk about some things that have to happen within ESCAPE or within the audit that aren't necessarily real, right? They're just auditing things, GASB things that have to happen. GASB is the acronym there. So GASB 84 was something that came out really recently, requires student body accounts to be included in district financial statements. ASB, Associated Student Body Activities for Bancroft, John Muir, and San Leandro High School are accounted for in Fund 8. It's not really happening in Fund 8 for the most part, but we have to just kind of show it there. So journal entries for it. GASB 31, something called fair market value. This reduces, in our case right now, the reported ending fund balance for funds that are held by the county treasury. Basically, all of our funds are held by the county treasury. GASB 31 is material in times of rising interest rates, but it does not actually impact our balances. We had to reduce our ending fund balances by about 2.5% for all of our funds because of this fair market value concept. The idea is the county treasury issues investments, buys investments. Now, as interest rates continue to increase, those investments that they bought and are holding on to, the value of those goes down a little bit, 2.5%. In times of declining interest rates, you get the opposite effect. That fair market value can actually increase the cash that you have, the value of the cash that you have in the county treasury. So GASB 31 doesn't really happen, but we have to book those. And the final one here, GASB 24, has been around about a decade. But it's recognizing the state's contribution to STIRS for teachers. It's called STIRS on Behalf. It's about a $5 million revenue and a $5 million expense currently. Just that's happening. Doesn't actually cross the district's books, but we have to book it. So that's the lesson, only lesson for tonight. Here's our look at our general fund revenues, $171 million for the year. A lot of one-time money is what happened there. Put this in priority, the 10 years earlier, 2012-13, $67 million. So the increase, right? that's gone on over the last decade there. We are about 2/3 LCFF, which you would expect. That federal over represented again because of COVID. State definitely overrepresented because of Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant, Art and Music, Instructional Materials Block Grant, and then that other is in there. Things like SELPA, donations, SLED dollars, etc. Here's our expenses for the year. We are at $146 million last year, 77% employee salaries and benefits. That number continues to go down a little bit, not by design, but we've had things like ELOP come up, ELOP, Expanded Learning Opportunity Program, big contract service. It's just taking down our overall expenditures in terms of salaries and benefits. But I think no other surprises there. Books and supplies at about 2.9%, and contract services a little bigger than it used to be. A lot of mental health services, COVID-related funds, et cetera, at about 18.3% overall. Ending fund balance, we gave a 10.25% salary increase last year. Despite that, our ending fund balance increased in 22-23 due to decreased expenditures during distance learning, strategic use of COVID funds, receipt of one-time funds, cost of living adjustment that was substantial last year because of the difficulty in maintaining full staffing, also known as vacancies, not the way we want to increase our ending fund balance. We ended up the year with about $32.4 million in our unrestricted funds, restricted about 30.8. Big chunk of that, again, Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. Restricted ending fund balance includes that Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant, Art Music, Redevelopment Agency, Educate Effectiveness, A through G, Completion Improvement, all of those funds intended to be spent over the next few years. COVID funding, we're looking at about just under $23 million over 3 years that we're spending. The big three sources. There have been others over time, but for this 3-year period, Expanded Learning Opportunity Grant, ELOG, Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief, ESSER, 2 and 3, and our in-person incentive grant. We have fully spent at this point. 23-24 is the final year that those funds are going to be spent. In 21-22, we spent about $8.9 million, 48.9 FTE funded. 22-23, just over 7 million, 46.2 FTE. And to put that in perspective, we're spending just about the same this year, in 10-2 anyways. For 23-24, we have just under $7.1 million remaining in our ESSER 3 funds at 46.1 FTE. So a substantial number of FTE. That's something that we're obviously going to have to think about and plan for as we look to the end of COVID funding next year. Enrollment and ADA. So calculate funded ADA. Districts can use current year, or prior 3-year average ADA. We've budgeted for a gradual return to that 95% level that we have had maintained prior to COVID for a really long time. Here's what the budget looks like. Last year we looked at 91. We beat that by a little bit. 92% this year is where we're budgeting. Hope to beat that. 93, 94, and we're planning on full return in the 26-27 year. Obviously, again, plans. Hope to beat that by a lot. Right, we're working on that. I'll just talk about real briefly as we've worked on attendance improvement plans. One of the things that came up, we have a food service director from a local district who gave us the idea of planning menus where our most favorite meals are on Monday and Friday. And talked to Director Hoffman here, and he loved it, and he's going with it. So we've already implemented it. Favorite meals on Mondays and Fridays, just trying to increase those tough improvement days.
Cheese pizza works really well.
Especially the pizza. Thank you for that. Here's a look at what we're planning on ADA-wise, and hopefully, again, these numbers get a little bit better. You can see that we're using that 3-year prior year average mechanism in 22-23, 23-24, and 24-25. At the end of those 3 years, that 3-year look back doesn't work for us anymore, and we have to go to current. So this enrollment in ADA continues to be something that we focus on very heavily, along with our unduplicated count. Here's a look at our enrollment. You can see starting back in 15-16, high watermark in 19-20, 9,067 students. You can see the impact of COVID. Good news, we're up close to 100 students at this point from last year. The official measurement day is going to be the first Wednesday in October. Of those roughly 100 kids that we're up right now, 70 of those are TK, but we're still up despite that, regardless, and we're going to continue to build on that growth over the next few years. We are watching our 23-24 unduplicated count. It may be declining, but we still have some time to continue to work on that. So there'll be a lot of work on unduplicated count. State budget update. State budget update, COLA came in at 8.22%. That's a funded COLA this year. 2 additional large one-time funding sources received in 22-23. We didn't have any expenditures in these art, music, instructional materials that got reduced a little bit, down to about $4.9 million. Still have those funds all in hand. And then the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant, we had just over 13 million, 11.1 right now. But the state's saying that the plan is to restore those dollars in the future, but no guarantees, not budgeting on those restorations. So by 27-28, we should get all of our dollars back. Art music, Prop 28, not to be confused with art, music, instructional materials block grant. This is Prop 28, art and music. The rules regarding Prop 28 funding have been slow to emerge. We really tried to pop out in front of this and get this going at the start of the year, but the state, for a number of reasons, has just been slow to announce amounts, announce the rules, et cetera. Funding will be by site and based on demographics at each site. Approximately 1.5 million in total ongoing funding district-wide. CDE is going to announce actual funding later in the fall. 80% of that funding has to be on staff and salaries, not on contract services or materials. And then schools under 500 can apply for a waiver to that 80% rule, but they'll need to show good cause. And that's sort of new language that got introduced. So that waiver is not yet available. We're kind of on hold waiting for the state. Finally, each state is going to have to submit an annual report for board approval. And we did fund San Leandro High School, Bancroft, and John Muir with FTE that they were able to build into their schedule. So they have additional art classes this year. Because of that, took a little bit of a risk to just go ahead and do it, but they're certainly able to appreciate and use those funds now, even though we don't know the exact amount, in ways that we're just not able to do with the elementary sites yet. K-5 Lincoln SLVA plans will be developed in the near future once more details from the state are released. Revised certification form. So you remember that SACS, the Standardized Account Code Structure software, the state updated to an online system this year. This is our, we had a budget, first interim, second interim, now unaudited actuals. They got better every time. They did have an error in their forms that they announced on Friday evening. And A-Series asked us to make that correction. It wasn't pulling a number correctly, really minor in the end. It doesn't have any impact on us, but I just want to show you what that looks like. No impact on our finances. Its appropriations is for the state level. A-Series, what we're going to ask again is that the board approve the unaudited, updated unaudited actuals for 22-23 with a revised appropriations limit on the certification form. So what that looks like, this was the original form in the packet that went out. You can see there on the right, that right there. Those numbers should have been the same. This is what they look like now. So posted on the website, that's all it is. That's the update. Next steps, auditors are going to be here. They were here in March. They're going to be here again within the next month, virtually. And then you'll see that audit report in December. And we'll report our first interim report in December for all activity through October 31st. And that's it.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes, a couple of questions or comments. So with GASB 84, the student body one, I just want to make a note for anyone that's watching or listening. It's not the PTAs and those types of funds. This is only the funds that are coordinated by the school itself.
Correct. And the idea is these are, even though they're school funds collected for, of, by students, they're really district funds that we're responsible for. We don't tell them how to spend them and whatnot, but the checks and the two signatories and the bank accounts and whatnot. So we have to report those as part of our financials.
So like the prom runs through
ASB. Yep.
Exactly.
That's it.
So, and then a comment, when I joined the board, it was a big, like I think in my second year, we reached being $100 million district. And so I'm shooting for, before I leave, we hit the 200 mark. So, so a little pressure, but I don't know. We could. It's
We could.
possible.
Well, if you added all funds in, it certainly is
getting
is not
very
far off.
close.
Yep, absolutely.
And then my last comment is I love the fact we added more art classes. I think that's one of the things that when I'm talking to constituents, I always highlight the fact that we are art, music, PE district, and we pay for those staff. And a lot of our neighboring districts do not prioritize.
Right. And one of the kind of issues around Prop 28 is it's the supplement, not supplant. So we have to kind of maintain our baseline that we have, and we're talking about increasing from there. I think that's part of the rules making process that they're looking at is how do you implement that? Elementary, we are, because of shortage of teachers, teacher shortage, still having trouble filling all of the current positions that we have as part of the reason we're not looking to add at this point. But we don't lose those funds. Those funds stay around. Each year stays around for another 3 years. So we'll still be able to use those funds on behalf of San Leandro students.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a quick curiosity around the decreasing unduplicated. It's great to see increasing enrollment again. I was just curious if we know what that is, if it's, I know that there's the form that folks have to complete now that's.
We're trying to make that as easy as possible. There's several different ways people can fill out the process, fill out the form online during the ARES registration process. It can be the English learner status. It could be the direct certification that comes through state or county programs. We're not done yet, so we're not going to say for sure. We're trying to get. We've consistently been a 67% district. We through our new processes, we're able to get to that 76% mark. Right now, sitting at about 73 and a half. We've certainly worked hard on redesignation of our English learners as a district. Great thing, positive for the district. Flip side is, there is a little bit of a takedown to our unduplicated count because of that. The economy's been doing better, overall. There's a lot of anxiety around it, but that could have play a role in it well. That is generally people doing better. They're not needing to rely on that free reduced lunch. Still having that universal meals available regardless of what people do, I think there is still an impact and a little bit of a takedown on our numbers from that effect. Right? There's no need for them to fill out the form.
Just two quick comments. One on the attendance. I firmly believe that the 95% is achievable. Trustee Fieger and I were at Halkeen last week, and on Friday they celebrated 95% attendance already. She's going to beat your projection. She's going for 97%.
That would be awesome if we could do 97. And I think, as we talk about a lot of things, test scores and social emotional learning and, mental health and wellness and physical health, all of these things are tied into kids need to be in school for all of those reasons, right? And we want them here. We want them here for a lot of reasons, not just the money. Money matters, but all of those other things that tie into just attendance counts.
And to our two new trustees, if this is a little bit much for you, I highly recommend Dr. Collins' Budget 101 class. It's a half an hour. He explains things so clearly and concisely from funding to spending. It's just a lot of information, but it'll make it a lot clearer for you. If you're interested, I highly recommend that.
Principal Oshinsky is a very quick study. Yeah. President Oshinsky, excuse me. President Oshinsky, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Collins.
Principal Oshinsky, yeah. President, sorry. Wrong titles. I'll work on titles next. Okay, thank you.
All right, next, public hearing. Public hearing for the sufficiency of instructional materials for 23-24. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll move to open public hearing.
Moved by Trustee Aguilar, second by Trustee Perola. Please vote to open. Motion carries 7+1. Do we have any public testimony comments, Ms. Mayfield?
I'm 76 years of age. I have a certificate of a paraeducator, and yet I'm picking up trash in a city that I've owned a duplex in for 30 years. I am no longer married, so please don't call me Miss. You have graphics that you produced tonight, yet the public, I hope we will be able to get a copy of the graphics some way, because this is a lot, and I've been to maybe only 3 other um, school meetings before, and I have a relative for, this will be maybe this year, next year, 40th year as a first grade school teacher in Santa Rosa. I have a relative who also is about 27, is an intern on a radio that is born blind. I wanted to be a teacher when I was a little kid. I do not think that the public is aware of the surroundings of the schools, the maintenance of them, and it disheartens people. We had a man, Midas Touch. He retired, and I spent 3 years trying to make that place better. That we didn't have a fire there. There was a fire there from a woman who was homeless around there. She'd been in the shrubbery, more or less. We had someone live for 8 months over at Palma Plaza. It's not painted over there. It is not clean. When I am walking 40 feet behind 7 teenagers on the property where I rent for more than $2,000 a month, and the next day, Jeremy Rocha, the policeman, is there in his car and says, "We have him on video." And when I see from 10:30 to 11:30, I'm almost finished, 4 teenagers sharing marijuana stuff as they're waiting for Asian food.
Thank you for your comments. Seeing no others, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Moved by trustee Gonzalez, seconded by trustee Sheridan. Please vote on closing the public hearing. Motion carried 7+1. All right, reports, correspondence.
Thank you, President Oshinsky. I have tonight's correspondence report from August 15th through September 11th. We'll start with CSBA, Masters in Governance. For COEs, fall and spring registrations now open. We have an email from Erica Ortiz. Join us at a night of exploration, limited tickets available. Next email is from Guadalupe Gonzalez. Join us for the 2023 Multicultural Mixer. Nicole Hunter Mays, United Parents, join or renew. Eddie Alvarez, hands-on workshop at Lincoln. La Familia, 2023 La Familia newsletter. Lori Sasaki, SLHS library reopening. You're invited. Boys and Girls Club, bid on 5 vacation experiences next week at the night of exploration. Boys and Girls Club, last chance to buy your tickets for the night of exploration. Karishma Katari, save the date. Breakfast with Assembly Member Robert Rivas and Assembly Member Liz Ortega. Boys and Girls Club, rock the block this Saturday with San Leandro Boys Club. Nicole Hunter Mays, United Parents Meeting, Tuesday, 9/12. Penny Peck, Alameda School Boards Association, upcoming events. Jen Gibson, support students in reading using AI with Readability Tutor. And then Trisha Reichart, SLED is celebrating 15 years. And that's it for our correspondence report.
Thank you. Next up, we have our student board member report, trustee Felix.
Hi, this is my first meeting. I'm Julian Diaz Felix. I go to San Leandro High School, and I'm a co-CFO of the Business Academy as well. I first want to start talking off about the construction. It's going very well. I've seen, the safety is really well. A lot of people are watching out, and I feel like the construction is going really well. And sorry, I didn't catch your name, but okay, yeah, thank you so much. Like, it's going really well. Every day it feels different, like just seeing it. Um, and I also want to talk about the sports. It's, fall sports are coming along right now, so a lot of people are able to stay after school a bit longer to have training or, any conditioning that's happening. And I feel like that's going really well. with all the coaches and anyone else that's helping out. Um, and also, I want to talk about the security. I know there's some upgrades that are happening to like the entrance, like how we're gonna have our ID cards being showed for the high school, and I think that's gonna be very well because security has been, I would say, more aware on people coming in and out, and they're more, can I say, like, yeah, they're just more aware. Like, it's really nice. I have my first period off block, so when coming in, they always like question me, like, why are you here late? And it's just like really nice to know that the safety of San Leandro High School is like #1 priority. So, yeah.
Thank you, trustee. Next up, union representative reports. Seeing none, we'll move on to board committee reports. Communication and advocacy.
Okay, we met on September 5th. We had a bond update, which you got tonight, so we just got a preview of that. We talked about the resolution in events and awareness calendar. And you noticed that because we only had one meeting in August, we have a lot of resolutions on this calendar. But it will slow down because we're on a regular cycle now for the rest of them. For district communication projects, there was a videographer on campus from Elevation Point Films. They're creating 3 different videos, 2 that are short and 1 that's longer. So 2 that are 30 seconds, 1 that's 1 minute. And they're highlighting athletics, hiring, and enrollment are the video that they're creating. And we will be putting some of these at the movie theaters. And so it'll be coming to a theater near you. We talked about the recognition for the students that we gave the honors awards to tonight. And then we also talked about Joanne Clark and her recognition and her award that she received tonight. Last time I showed you the attendance awareness campaign, and there was a flyer. We have since got updated information from the nurses, working with both the nurses as well as the public health in Alameda County, because we wanted them to mesh and be in agreement. And so we got to see a revised flyer. And I think that it was very well done. It says very simply, your child has this, come to school or don't come to school. And so it's easy to read and easy to understand. So I want to say thank you for all the staff that put so much time into creating that user-friendly flyer. State of the district. So we still want to do it in October. And so we were waiting for when Lincoln was going to be finished, because we would hope to use the multipurpose room at Lincoln. So now that we have that, hopefully we can get a date squared away really quickly. Yeah, so if the people can work on getting a date and getting it to us, I think that would be great. We're looking for doing a Thursday breakfast. And so we invite people to come in for the Thursday breakfast. And then we do bus tours after. So that would be business people, real estate agents, key people at the different school sites. And then we're also going to offer on that next Saturday, also bus tours for the wider community, because we know they can't come for a breakfast during the week. So, but we want to highlight what we're doing, so every single person in San Leandro can come and see what has been done and what their dollars have been paying for. I think that I will end my advocacy and communications report. Thank you.
Next up, curriculum and policy.
Yes, we will meet next Monday, September 18th at 5:30 in the conference room.
All right, thank you, trustee Aguilar. Next up, facilities and technology.
Thank you, President Oshinsky. F&T met last Wednesday. We started off with a brief technology update from Larry Simon. We had a discussion regarding the district replacement program of printers. We had a number of items in consent that we moved forward, went over some change orders regarding a lot of the projects that are going on or have gone on over the summer. And then we're able to hit a number of items that maintenance is actually addressing regarding pumps, emergency repairs, annual testing of our fire monitoring panels, and some other projects around the district. So we know that our maintenance department is staying very busy. And then we had a number of items that you will see later on today on the agenda for your approval. And that was it for our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Next up is finance that we meet. We met on Wednesday, September the 6th. The discussion items were the 22-23 unaudited actuals report and presentation. It was nice being in the date meeting that morning and then going into the finance meeting because something that Ms. Clark was talking about was there's some ESSER funds or COVID dollars that are ending, and some of that was going towards counseling. And so I asked the question, are we going to be able to continue that funding and finding more funding? And I asked Dr. Collins that exact question while we were talking about that. And then lastly, next, the resolution 2326 GAN limit. And then last on our agenda was the bond measure update. And Dr. Collins said that in all toll, since the majority have been on the board, with this bond, we'll have raised $500 million in money. Yes, that's something to celebrate. As I said, I don't think there's any other school district in the county of Alameda that has done that. And it's phenomenal. I'm really, really, really proud of that. And all of you should feel so. That ends my report. Next, drug, alcohol, tobacco, and education.
Yeah, Wednesday was a busy day for me. So we met Wednesday, September 6th. We had a presentation on the, where is it? Joanne Clark gave us a presentation on the CSSPP grant, same presentation that we all saw today. We also discussed a recap of the summer school program over this past summer. We had a total of 1,435 students enrolled in summer school. We also are running our intern programs with our partnership with SLED, and we had 83 students that completed that internship over the summer, thanks to our various partners as well. We did a review of the intensive contract services around mental health staffing. We discussed Wellness Together, which Ms. Clark received an award from. We discussed the Korean Community Center of the East Bay and all of our partners that are providing a total of 547 hours of support for all 13 schools. That's just a huge number. It just completely blew me away when she shared that information with us. And then we finished up with a campus safety update from our safety director, Rocky Medeiros. He was describing some of the programs that are rolled out in our district or we're currently working on as Mr. Diaz-Felix explained. He's noticed some of them at the high school. He's talked about the plan and the reasoning and the overall plan and where we're heading to provide an environment of safety for our students and staff so that they can feel comfortable in an environment where they can work. We discussed some of the camera enhancements, emergency preparedness programs in backpacks and buckets, the door system, the Halo smart sensors going into the restrooms that can detect basically anything bad that a kid is doing, it will detect. Now, vape and smoke. And then we also discussed the preparations for deploying Narcan throughout the school sites, just because we know what's going on with the fentanyl epidemic. And sometimes this fentanyl can look like sweet tarts or candies, and a kid may not know and inadvertently pick it up. I mean, it's not beyond belief that a 4-year-old could pick up something off the ground and put it in his mouth. So, we're trying to do everything that we can do to provide a safe environment for these students. And then we also discussed the Hall Pass visitor management system, which right there at the point of issuing that pass is also running that person from their ID through background check right there to make sure they're not showing up on any of the lists that you guys may know that we don't want them to show up on. So that was great to hear all that from Rocky. And that was it for that meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sheridan. It is now 8:29. I want to take a 6-minute break, so we'll come back at All right, consent agenda. Are there any polls this evening? I do have one. I'm going to pull item 1B, the board meeting minutes, just for a point of order. Ms. Mayfield, if you could put them on the next meeting, I'd really appreciate it. All right. Motion to move the consent agenda minus 1B.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Peralta, seconded by trustee Sheridan. Please vote. We're voting on the consent agenda. Motion carries 7+1. All right, action discussion items. General Services, approve the Recreation and Parks Commission representative for San Leandro Unified School District who is here this evening. I'd like to invite Mr. Mays up. Introduce yourself, please.
All right, good evening, Mr. Superintendent and Board. Pleasure to be here. My name is James Mays, so a resident of San Leandro for about 12 years. 3 kids in the district, 1 at Roosevelt, 2 in the high school, so definitely seeing what you're seeing every day when I'm there. I'm an assistant coach with track and field and cross country, so happy to be able to step forward and do what I can to help.
You want to stay up there while we take a vote?
And also your wife is a teacher in our school district too.
That's right. She is. There she is. Gator Pride. So.
All right, just gonna get a motion.
I'll make a motion to move 1A.
I'll second that.
Moved by trustee Gonzalez, seconded by trustee Sheridan. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Congratulations.
Yay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, next up, 1B, memorandum of understanding between San Lorenzo Unified School District and San Leandro Unified School District.
I'll move to approve N1B.
I'll second.
Moved by trustee Aguilar, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. I'm going to, in the form of clarity, I'm going to have to abstain because that is my employer. Oh, yes. All right, please vote.
Throw at him here. How about a Twix?
All right, please vote. All right, motion carries 5+1 with 2 abstentions. Thank you. All right, business operations approval 2023 unaudited actuals with revised appropriation limit on certification form.
I'd like to move item 2A.
I'll,
Moved by trustee Sheridan, seconded by trustee Pearl. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. 2B, Fremont Chevrolet for new maintenance vehicles.
I will move N2B.
Move,
And I will second.
moved by trustee Pearl, seconded by trustee Fiegergard. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Motion or item 2C, quality pump, rehab and install pumps and panel at a pump station at McKinley Elementary.
I'll move 2C.
I'll second it.
Moved by trustee Sheridan, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Please vote. I'm sorry, trustee Pearl, did you want to say something? That's okay. Motion carries 7+1. Item 2D, Romano's painting administrative offices and main office at Bancroft Middle School.
I'll second it. 2D.
Moved by trustee Aguilar, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Item 2E, Pacific Sports Complex, tennis court light poles and lighting system replacement.
I'll second N2E.
Moved by trustee Parola, seconded by trustee Sheridan. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Item 2F, McGorry Brothers Drilling, emergency repairs to well at San Leandro High School. Moved by trustee Pearl, seconded by trustee Aguilar. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Item 2G, agreement with Alameda County Schools Insurance Group to provide employee vision coverage.
I'll move N2G.
I'll second.
Moved by trustee Sheridan, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Item 2H, Claims Administration Services Agreement with Keenan.
I'll second.
Moved by trustee Pearl, seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Number 3, Administrative Services. 3A, Scoot Education Agreement for Staffing Services. Moved by trustee Aguilar, seconded by trustee Parola. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Item 3B, Pro Care Therapy Client Services Agreement.
I'll move 3B.
I'll second it. Moved by trustee Gonzalez, seconded by trustee Oshinsky. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Agreement between Rowe Health and San Leandro Unified School District for 23-24. Moved by trustee Pearl, seconded by trustee Pearl. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. 3D, Memorandum of Understanding and Agreement for Participation in the Center for Teacher Innovation Induction Program, School of Education 23 to 2026. Moved by trustee Aguilar, seconded by trustee Parola. Please vote. It won't be your last time, trust me. All right, motion carries 7+1. 3E, contract to CAPTA School Smarts Academy for 23-24.
I'll move 3E.
I'll second that.
Moved by trustee Gonzalez, seconded by trustee Sheridan. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Item 3F, Executive Assistant Cabinet Revised Job Description. Moved by trustee Aguilar, seconded by trustee Pearl. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Educational Service, approval of consolidated application for funding categorical programs for San Leandro Unified School District.
I'll move N4A.
Moved by trustee Sheridan, seconded by trustee Fiegerger. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Contracted service agreement between McKinley Elementary School for Camp Arroyo.
I'll move 4B.
Moved by trustee Gonzalez, seconded by trustee Pearl. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Item 4C, contracted services agreement between Madison Elementary School for Camp Monte Toyon.
I'll second it.
Moved by trustee Aguilar, seconded by trustee Sheridan. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Approval of amendment of school-based counseling services between Wellness Together Incorporated and San Leandro Unified School District.
I'll second it.
Moved by trustee Fiegerger and seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Please vote. Sure, go ahead. Did I skip it? Oh, yes, I did.
Explore.
All right, this passes 7+1. Thank you, trustee. Or D, contracted services agreement between Garfield Elementary School and Nexplore. Moved by trustee Perla, seconded by trustee Aguilar. Please vote. 7+1. Now we're on to 4F. Approval of contract services for professional development between San Leandro Unified School District and the Learning Center in Design for Young Minds. Moved by trustee Pearl, seconded by trustee Perola. Please vote. Motion carries 7+1. Item 4G, approval of contracts of service agreement between San Leandro Unified School District and Building Blocks of Brilliance LLC.
I'll move for 4G.
Moved by trustee Gonzalez, seconded by trustee Aguilar. Okay, cabinet report, superintendent. I'm sorry, what?
Isn't someone?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're still waiting.
On which one?
4G.
Oh, 4G. I'm sorry, please. I see what you're saying. Got it.
Don't worry, it
I'm too,
happens again.
it will. I'm too ahead of myself here. Thank you. Motion carries 7-1. Got it. Thank you.
Won't be the last time.
Won't be the
Don't
last
worry.
time.
Don't worry, won't be the last time. So,
I'm old.
would you like me to start?
Yes.
All right. Has he done all his chores? Okay. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. I first want to start out by officially welcome Trustee Figuerer on as our first full board meeting. It was a pleasure spending some time with you last week, and it sounds like the other trustees have spent some time. So it's nice to see a full board here. So welcome aboard, and we'll have good times. I also want to welcome here, you've seen a body here. I think most of you know this is Miss Zara Duncan. She will be replacing Miss Mayfield when she retires here in October. We're so thrilled to have her. You guys will officially vote her in on the next board meeting, but because of the timing, we wanted to make sure she could come and shadow a little bit and learn all the things that are in Miss Mayfield's brain. A lot, right, Michelle? All right. So welcome aboard, Zara. Okay. You don't want to leave already, do you? Okay. All right. So she's doing really well. Couple things here. Threats. So you know you're back in school when the threats start coming around, the virtual stuff. So Rocky has been working on a little. We don't know yet whether we want to go to the public or give these talking points to the school board members of if you get calls or things on social, this is what the district goes through when we get these threats. We just don't go, probably doesn't mean anything. We go through a vigorous step. We work with our local police department. If there's another entity involved, we go through and we do everything possible to make sure we can say, this is not a credible threat. The one this last week was a little difficult because it really didn't start in San Leandro Unified. It started outside, but then you also have two entities. You have the sheriff's department works over in San Lorenzo and with SLPD. So Rocky's working with them that if there's any of them, let's do a courtesy call. So we're not kind of chasing each other on trying to get the information. But once I get the document, I'll send you guys and see, sometimes you just don't want to put everything out there, then people will do it more, but it's that time of year, and well, I don't know if there is a time of year. People want to stay out of school, and about 2,200 kids stayed out after that in San Lorenzo. So, when you talk to parents and talk to community members, listen, we're on it. We have all the safety measures, and if it's credible, you will know. We will not hide it in there and only let so many people know. We are really good at communications and getting that word out if it's a credible threat. But we're working on a document that if we feel like we need to put it outward facing, we will, so parents understand that if you're not getting a message, it's not credible. anyways, we're working on that. It's unfortunate because it just stops everything. I know Daryl called me about 11 o'clock at night from San Lorenzo, just explaining he was going to send out a letter. But he spent all day, the district, San Lorenzo spent all day just trying to clear it, and it was incredible. So we're lucky to have Rocky. He clears things quickly. He knows the law enforcement, so he gets through that process pretty quick. So you'll be hearing more from me on that. Back to school night, I got to go to McKinley and see Malika. She's just incredible. She really gets that community over there, and they like her. The staff loves her. Great comments from the parents and the staff about their new. They really are calling it. We love our new school. So you can take a 100-year-old school, make it a new school. So that's kind of what we've done over there. The We knew when we were doing the parking that we're going to have to. It's kind of like Bancroft. If you don't have anybody out there, they're all going to want to turn left instead of go right, and that's no different in any school. People want to bypass rules, but we're working on that with signage and other things. But if you haven't driven by there, it's beautiful, beautiful inside too. It's just it's a game changer. And thanks to Leo, we're going to get sod instead of seed. I know. So I said, I don't want to wait for seed to grow. Got sod, but PE teacher's happy, likes his new track and all this. Like I said, a lot of those that were on the board last year, we heard some negative stuff, even though we had pushed McKinley up first in almost all our projects. And to do that, we had to do it during Christmas or Easter. So sometimes there's going to be a mess if you're pushing that like that. So we've learned some stuff from that. I think we're going to probably just do summers with all the other schools because, we were kind of blasted that we weren't doing anything for them. But really, that school is basically going to be finished, all of it. So very proud of the work there. The last thing, I never get to go to the camps with the kids here, but I have an 11-year-old that went to his first outdoor camp, 6th grade. And, I'm in education, so I think I know everything, but not really. He came home and just all kinds of information. I mean, he stuck a leaf in my mouth and made me chew it. And I'm like, what is this? What are you doing? And he goes, oh, it tastes like apples, right? I'm like, oh, it does. How do you know the difference between this and poison oak or whatever? He goes, well, that's on this side of the mountain. And I'm like, you actually learned stuff, kid. Banana slugs on his face, things like the thing that really hit me is I had to pay $400 for my kid to go to that. Here in San Leandro, zero. So those experiences that our kids need out, even though I feel like we take our kids someplace else, to do that on his own and to get that experience in a cabin and those other things are just priceless. And I'm so proud that we're able to do that at a zero cost, because not everybody can fork up those dollars to do those things. But anyway, just wanted to share that because I hear my kids here in the district going all the time to cool places. I never really get to hear all the details. And so I'm still hearing the details. It's been a week, but he's very proud and happy that he got to learn new things. And it wasn't in the classroom. What do you say? It wasn't boring. That's a 6th grader. So anyways, that's all for me. And I'll pass it on.
Thank you, Dr. Patel.
All right. Last year, we shared the need for a structured phonics curriculum with Board Curriculum Committee, and they enabled us to launch an elementary ELA adoption supplement process. And so the district-wide pilots have launched. All the grades at all the schools are trying out structured phonics curriculum. They're giving us feedback on what's working. We look forward to sharing the results and the impact with BCC to make a final recommendation. I'm just really thankful that we knew those CCSPP monies were coming in, that we went ahead and purchased everything so that, as you heard from Garfield and Madison, it's already making an impact. We're now currently mapping out how we're going to do the teacher education piece on how early literacy works in light of all the new research that's out there, often called science of reading. And so we're looking at an organization that can provide training over 2 years because it's that big of a lift in terms of how much the expectations around English language arts have changed. And so we look forward to sharing with the details of that and potentially a contract at the October meeting. Our first district English language advisory committee meeting for the school year is next week on September 20th. We're looking forward to beginning the year with the families of our emergent bilinguals and our newly elected representatives. So excited for that. And then I just wanted to share that, thank you, Senior Director Joanne Clark, for an awesome presentation on CCSP. We're really excited about what being community schools means for our community. And we also know that when we build something, we want to sustain it. We don't want to have those services cliffs especially when we're seeing the impact of what it means to really educate and support the whole child. And so part of us being able to sustain the work is figuring out how to bring in revenue in places that we haven't been doing so. And to that vein, I attended a training today on Medi-Cal billing alongside district staff. Assistant Superintendent Larry Simon was with me. We had folks from HR, from business, from really all the divisions. ACOE has gathered all the districts together to learn how to do Medi-Cal billing and to be reimbursed from the state side on a variety of mental, behavioral, and physical health services that we're already providing. So we're excited to start the work, learn how to get reimbursed both from Medi-Cal and also from commercial private insurance groups. There's a process for that. So we look forward to sharing what we discover. But it looks like meetings that we have that you all hear about in date committee, like cost meetings, our group behavioral support sessions, the vision and hearing screening we do, are all places where we could be getting reimbursed. So we'll bring that work back shortly. And we're just grateful to ACOE for coordinating this effort and taking on the big task of taking the claims, doing the reimbursements, and getting those funds right back out to us. That concludes my report.
Next up, Assistant Superintendent of Administrative Service, Dr.
Hi, good evening, Board of Trustees and Dr. McLaughlin. The Administrative Services Division has started the year showing some positive trends in confirming enrollment of all the students at each of our sites that we anticipated coming this academic year. We take the first 15 days of school to monitor this really closely, and we were happy to see that we were able to reach almost 100% of confirmed enrollment across all of our school sites. So currently, as you heard earlier before, our enrollment counts are slightly higher than our last year's count at this time by about 100 students. Our current enrollment is 8,728 and counting as we enroll a few kids every day. As we also continue to launch the school year, we're thinking about some of the strategies that we can continue that will support the recruitment of teachers for those hard to fill positions. So we are promoting our teacher internships with local universities. Last year, we had 9 teaching interns who were going through their credentialing programs, and they were able to get a full year experience alongside a master teacher and a support provider while they were completing their coursework. And so of those 9 interns, we end up hiring 6 of them into teaching positions for this school year. So we plan to continue to grow these cohorts and so that we can expand and also hopefully expand some more contracts with other universities. And on our after school front, we're also thrilled to have all of our expanded learning opportunity ELOP and ACES up and running at all of our 8 sites. The number of students who can participate in the after school program is growing each day. Some of our sites are not yet filled to capacity, so we're working with the Boys and Girls Club of San Leandro to increase their staffing capacity so that more students can join. Some of the expanded services that we're having this year, we're able to have this year, such as having supper service at our elementary sites during these hours. So we're going to be starting, Halkeen will be one of the first of the elementary sites to have this supper service with the hopes of expanding to all the rest of them. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Once again, Dr. Collins.
I was able to sneak everything into my report tonight. So at this point, I don't really have anything additional. So I'm going to defer at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. And lastly, we have Assistant Superintendent of Information Services, Mr. Larry Simon.
Thank you. School year has started out great. Staff are continuing to help teachers and students with technology throughout the year. On sort of our project side, physical security projects are proceeding well. The door entrance buzzers at San Leandro High just went live late last week, and the site was trained yesterday, so it's pretty early for feedback, but so far, so good. We'll, of course, be working with them to fine-tune and make sure it meets their needs, and we have other projects going on as well as the visitor management and the vape detectors as well, and those are on track. I heard a question about unduplicated rate earlier, and I'm really happy because I want to talk about that anyways. Currently, we're sitting at 73.2% based on our projections. But it's important to note that we're going to have a lot more EL coming in, and then we have a couple of additional direct certifications before the deadline of the end of October. So we should see some big changes in those numbers. And really, it's not just about the free meals and the financial benefits of the district to provide services. there are benefits directly to students themselves, like SAT waivers, college app waivers, reduced cost internet, and they also get a savings account now. So as we've done in the last couple of years, we're going to be working directly with the school sites to reach out to families who haven't completed the process, the data confirmation, and make sure they're aware of those benefits and they begin to fill out things. We have a pretty robust process around that we've built over the last couple of years, so I'm pretty confident we'll have a lot of success there. And finally, I'd just like to provide a small update around cybersecurity. K-12, unfortunately, continues to be a very popular target. In the last couple of months, some really big ones have gone out, but lately it's less districts and more software providers and service providers. So that's a little scary because we contract with a lot of them, but we work with them to make sure they've taken appropriate safeguards as well. Federally, some new resources have come in just in the last month, so it'll be exciting to see. It's exciting to see that the problem is getting recognized nationally and see what comes out of that. Here in San Leandro, we're continuing to roll out some of our measures and should be receiving our first round of audit results this week. So we're hoping to be able to share that with you soon. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. Next up, board representative reports, Alameda County School Boards Association.
I do have an update for that. In lieu of a regular County School Boards Association meeting, we've been invited to the CSBA Roadshow on October 2nd. I think the location is Castro Valley High. Yeah. So they're encouraging us to attend. And there's going to be, you probably all got the email, but yes, so we won't be having a regular meeting. We're asking us to attend that, as well as encouraging us to attend the Teacher of the Year awards coming up.
Thank you, Trustee. Next up, Eden Aropi.
Okay, we met on September 7th. Wanted to give you some enrollment information. So last year, they had 627 pre-enrollments. This year, they had 781 pre-enrollments. Capacity is 675 students. When they started the school year, they actually had 615 because of how classes were, and some kids don't show up even though they've pre-enrolled. So they look like they've been adding students every single day, and they hope to meet that full capacity mark, which they have never done. So this will be the very first time they've done that. So that's super exciting for them. And then I wanted to invite you, if any of you want to do the student tours, our high schools are going to be November 3rd, Friday. I don't have a time, but let me know and I'll make sure you get that information if you want to join. And I did go the very first year I was on the board, and it's really fun to go through and see it through the eyes of students. And so I do encourage you, if you've never had an ROP tour, go and join the students for that day. And that concludes my report.
Next up, Alameda County.
The only update there is that we do have an upcoming meeting September 25th, so should have an update after that meeting.
Despite the uptick in COVID, 13.7 positivity rate in Alameda County, and the variant circling, we still have not met. And I don't know that there's any plans to meet. So it will continue to be the running joke. And that's it for my day. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Future business. Do we have any consensus items this evening? Seeing none, we're going to move. Really?
Yeah, I didn't let you know this ahead of time. Usually I try to give you a heads up because this is really kind of a silly consensus item. But you know how we always do the pictures down there? It'd be really nice to have some step stools for us short people to raise us up in the back. So it's, like I said, it's a really small, petty one, but I think it would be worth just bringing some step stools for the back row to stand a little higher. No, they do not have to have the logo. Vertically challenged. But when the parents join and the family, we end up coming to the back anyways. Yeah.
It's all about the kids anyways.
We'll have platforms.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Just a few step stools, that's all. Thank you.
items? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to additional suggestions and comments from board members. Trustee Perola.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to say was, I don't know if it was last year or the year before that, we had a bus tour that the public could take going around seeing the schools. And I think it'd be nice if we redid that. I don't know when or how or whatever, but I'd like to see that done because I think we've got a lot of new stuff going on all over the district, and it'd be nice if people could see it.
So we're trying to coordinate a date right now, and it
Good.
revolves around Lincoln being finished.
Mhm.
So we're hoping in October, we'll have the breakfast, state of the district, and then a bus tour like we did
Great.
for
Great.
COVID, and then another one on a weekend.
Okay, next time I say something, I'll try not to anticipate what you're going to do. Anyway, thank you very much for doing it.
Hopefully get a date here soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Trustee Aguilar.
Yes, just a few things. First of all, big congratulations to two people on this dais tonight. Congratulations, Trustee Fee Gerger, for your first full meeting. Welcome to the team. And Trustee Diaz-Felix, welcome. Student board member is just a very special position to me, and so I appreciate you stepping into the role of leadership. And I just want to appreciate that this was a really joyful meeting. It was a lot of smiles. There were a lot of student recognitions and just overall really happy feelings. So thank you for making that happen. And my one big reminder, yes, thank you, Jackie, for bringing it up. The CSBA Roadshow on October 2nd from 6 to 8. Please come. Our region has about 20 or so signups right now. And so we'd love to hike that up and have a lot of the board there. It's just open, getting to meet the executives of CSBA and talking about some issues going on the state level. And we would love to have you.
Thank you, Trustee Pearl.
No, I second the sense of joy at this meeting. It's always wonderful to start the year off with lots of celebrations and hearing about just like the amazingness of our scholars who are just doing amazing work, being leaders at their sites and being really bold and courageous. I was just really taken aback by our scholars today. I also want to welcome our student board member. Very excited to have you and get to know you better. I don't have any major updates. I'm going to encourage people to get their flu shot. They're out. I just got mine this week. Both of my kids have had a cold in the last week. And so something is going around aside from COVID even. Both of them were not COVID. So just get your flu shot so you can stay healthy and stay in school.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Fee Gerger.
Yes, thank you. It's been a busy few weeks getting acclimated as the new board member, but just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for your support and the warm welcome. It was great seeing Hawkeen Elementary and Washington Elementary last week for back to school night, seeing all the energy that the parent groups provide. There's just, I think, a really sense of welcoming and wanting to be back on campus and wanting to just engage. So it was really nice to see both sites. It was also really exciting to support the Rainbow Club at San Leandro High at the Pride Parade this past Sunday. So it was a great opportunity to get to know a little bit of the students and staff and administration. So I look forward to the rest of the year.
Thank you. Trustee Sheridan.
Yeah, I'm going to echo Dr. Collins' sentiments, and I think I got all of my comments out of my system earlier and yield my time. Thank you.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes, I wanted to, I was able to attend the Boys and Girls Club event this last Friday, and I just want to do a shout out. They're doing incredible work, and we are so blessed to have them as a partner for us. And so it was great being there and celebrating with them. And also thank you for district staff that showed up to support them. I know that meant a lot to them. I attended the Dahlia Society event, and they're trying to figure out how to get more youth interested in dahlias, which is our official city flower. So I look forward to them reaching out and being more a part of getting our young people interested in dahlias, and we'll support them in that. I was not able to attend the Pride Parade. I've enjoyed it in the past, but I was really happy to see them still wearing our shirts, and I thank all of the staff here for helping to make that possible, because I think it's really nice to be able to look and see that we're celebrating our students and our families with that event. And then my last comment is, it's wonderful that the county is doing that medical and mental health billing seminar, and I'm so excited that so many of our staff are going. But I also want to, I always push back on why is it that our schools, when we should be focused on education, always seem to be where all of these social services go to land? And I just want to keep challenging that our teachers, our principals, our staff should be focusing on education. And we can't educate when there's so many other needs from our community, but we need help from our wider partners in making sure that our students are taken care of. And I will keep saying, why us though? Why? So
Perhaps there's a question you should ask the mayor. All right, next up, trustee Deal.
I just want to say thank you guys for everyone. It's a warm welcome, and it feels nice being here for my first meeting as well. It went really well, and I'm just thankful for everyone here, and also that all the help that I've gotten, and I know that we'll be going a long way with the awesome meetings that we're gonna have. Thank you.
Trustee. I also want to welcome our two new trustees to the board. It's a pleasure to have you. I shared with trustee Eager, she and I went to Hawkeen, which was really fun. A little bit jealous because they reached the 95% attendance on Friday. They had the cross bikes doing the jumps and stuff like that. Really wanted to see that. Looking forward to some upcoming events, the Sled Gala, which will be really fun. That's always a great opportunity. The middle school's open house this week. This is, as someone said earlier, we're back to school. There's a lot of events going on, and I really look forward to that. Locally in our neighborhood, Halloween, as you know, is a big thing for me. And this year I decided to up my game and not only going to involve our house, but the entire neighborhood. We're doing a Barbie. Yes. So I know that Ms. Moss has seen we have a gaggle of witches that we do. They asked to be dressed as Barbie, and so they will, and they're going to have a pink bonfire, and so all my neighbors are on board, and they're going to do something. I have a neighbor across the street who's going to have Ken looking out of the window, so it's going to be really fun. We get about 500 kids, and it's just really exciting to see them enjoy, participate in all of this. But that's it for me. And lastly, future board meeting, regular board meeting will be Tuesday, October the 10th. And then we also have the joint meeting on the 25th. So don't forget that. And that's at the library. Library? Okay.
We're hosting the food, the dinner, and
Are we hosting the meeting? With that, can I get a motion for adjournment? Moved by trustee Aguilar, seconded by trustee Sheridan. Please vote. Yes, I do. Motion carries 7-1. Meeting adjourned.